Hey Jack, can I ask you something quickly? I always hear the words be, being, and being, but honestly, they all confuse me so much because they sound almost the same.
That is completely normal, Emily. A lot of English learners feel exactly the same way at first. But today, I will make it very simple and clear for you.
Please do, because every time I hear being or being, my brain just freezes for a second.
Do not worry. The secret is very easy. These three words are connected to time. English uses them to talk about who you are, what you experienced before, and what is happening right now.
Oh, that already sounds easier than grammar books with all those scary charts and rules.
Exactly. Forget the complicated grammar tables for today. Instead, imagine three different rooms inside a house. Each room has one word and one meaning.
Okay, I like that idea. It feels easier to imagine.
Keep practicing a little every day, and your confidence will grow.
So be is about a state, not really an action?
Perfect. For example, you can say, I want to be confident, try to be calm, or you need to be careful. These sentences describe a condition or feeling.
Ah, now I understand. Be sounds simple and natural when you explain it like that.
Exactly. We use it every day in real conversations, at work, with friends, and even when talking to ourselves before difficult situations.
So the main idea is that be describes who someone is or how they should feel.
Yes, exactly. That is the golden rule. Be talks about a state or condition, not a physical action like running or jumping.
Honestly, this already feels much clearer than before.
Great. Then let us close the first room and move to the second one, where we will talk about been, the word that connects to your past experiences.
Okay, Jack, so the second room is been, right? Honestly, this word always felt confusing to me before.
Not anymore, Emily. Imagine this room as a photo album full of your life experiences and long journeys through time.
I like that image already. It feels much easier to understand.
Good. For example, your English sounds very natural today because you practice for a long time. So you can say, I have been practicing for years.
Oh, so been connects the past to the present?
Exactly. Imagine a long bridge. One side is the past, maybe 5 years ago, and the other side is today. Been is the bridge connecting both sides together.
So the main idea is that be describes who someone is or how they should feel.
Perfect. For example, if your life has been stressful recently, you can say, I have been busy lately, because the stress started before and still exists now.
And if someone worked too much this week, I can say, she has been tired all week.
Exactly. That sentence carries emotion and experience. It tells a story over time instead of only describing one moment.
I think I finally understand why native speakers use been so much.
Yes, because it makes your English sound deeper and more natural. It shows dedication, experience, and continuity.
So if I say, we have been friends for years, it means our friendship started in the past and still exists now.
Perfectly said. That is exactly how native speakers think about it.
Honestly, the bridge image really helps me remember everything.
Great. Then let us open the final room in the house, the most active one of all, being.
Ah, yes, the word that always sounds very energetic and emotional.
Because it is. Being focuses only on what is happening right now in this exact moment, like a live security camera.
So it is different from be and being because it only talks about the present moment.
Exactly. Imagine your friend is usually kind and calm, but suddenly, today she starts shouting at everyone for no reason.
Oh no, that sounds stressful.
Then someone might say, you are being rude.
Ah, that feels very different from saying, you are rude.
Yes, and that difference is extremely important. You are rude describes personality in general, but you are being rude only describes their behavior right now.
Oh, wow. I finally understand the real difference. One talks about identity, and the other talks about temporary behavior.
Exactly, Emily. You cracked the code. Native speakers use being when they want to describe actions or behavior happening in the current moment only.
Wow, Jack. Now I finally understand that being talks about temporary behavior happening right now, not someone's personality forever.
Exactly. That is why native speakers use it very carefully. For example, if someone starts crying because of a tiny problem, you might say, "You are being dramatic."
Oh, that sounds natural. It means the person is acting dramatic, only in that moment.
Perfect. Or imagine your coworker usually talks all day, but suddenly today he says almost nothing. You could say, "He is being quiet today."
I love that example because it feels very real and easy to imagine.
Exactly. Being shines a spotlight on temporary actions or behavior happening right now.
What about professional situations? I hear this word a lot at work.
Good question. Imagine your colleague is handling a very difficult customer calmly and politely. You could say, "She is being very professional."
Oh, yes, I hear sentences like that all the time in offices and meetings.
Exactly. Or if your friend complains nonstop about the weather, traffic, and life, you might finally say, "Stop being negative."
Wow, now I can actually feel the meaning emotionally instead of translating word by word in my head.
That is the real goal of learning English naturally. You want to feel the meaning, not memorize grammar rules like a robot.
So the golden rule is simple. Being describes temporary behavior happening right now.
Perfectly said. And now you understand all three rooms completely,
Honestly, I cannot believe grammar feels this easy now.
because we learned with pictures and emotions instead of confusing charts. Now let us compare all three together.
Okay, let us do the final comparison.
Imagine the word confident. First room, identity. You say, "I want to be confident."
Right, that describes the kind of person I want to become.
Exactly. Second room, experience over time. You say, "I have been confident lately."
Ah, that connects the past to the present, like the bridge.
Perfect. Third room, temporary behavior happening now. You say, "You are being confident today."
Wow, the same idea creates three completely different feelings depending on the word.
Exactly. And that is why English starts feeling logical once you see the pictures behind the grammar.
But honestly, I still make mistakes when I speak too quickly.
That is completely normal. Even advanced learners do that sometimes. So now welcome to the Mistake Lab.
The mistake lab sounds dangerous already.
Only for bad grammar. Listen carefully. "I am been tired."
Oh no, that sounds wrong immediately now.
Exactly. Been needs a bridge, and the bridge uses have. So the correct sentence is, "I have been tired."
Right, because the tired feeling started before and continues until now.
Perfect. Next mistake, "I being happy."
Hmm, that sounds incomplete. It needs power.
Exactly. Being needs am, is, or are to make the live camera work. So you say, "I am being positive," or "I am being patient."
I love that metaphor. The live camera needs electricity to record what is happening right now.
Exactly, Emily. And now you are creating your own English images, which means your brain is starting to think naturally in English.
Jack, I honestly feel like I am finally understanding these words naturally now.
That is because you stopped memorizing grammar rules and started seeing real pictures in your mind.
Exactly. The images make everything feel alive and easy to remember.
Good. Then let us try one final real-life role play together, just like native speakers talking normally at work.
Oh, I love these situations. They always make the lesson feel real.
Okay, imagine we are coworkers preparing for a very important meeting this afternoon.
All right, I am ready. My invisible business suit is on.
Perfect. And this time we will use be, being, and being naturally without stopping to explain anything.
Okay, let us do it.
Emily, you need to be prepared for the meeting at 2 o'clock.
I know, Jack. Honestly, I have been stressed all morning.
Hey, relax a little. You are being too hard on yourself.
Maybe you are right, but I really want to be professional today.
And scene. That was perfect.
Wow, I actually felt the meaning of every sentence while we were talking.
Exactly. Your brain understood the pictures automatically. Be showed identity, being connected the past to the present, and being described temporary behavior happening right now.
And the amazing thing is that I did not think about grammar rules even once.
Because natural English is about feeling the meaning, not memorizing complicated charts.
Honestly, this lesson removed so much confusion from my mind.
I knew it would. Now let us lock everything into your memory with one quick summary.
Okay, final review time.
Rule number 1. Be describes a state, identity, or what someone wants to become.
Like, I want to be successful.
Exactly. Rule number 2. Been connects the past to the present and shows experience over time.
Like, I have been busy all week.
Perfect. And rule number 3. Being describes temporary behavior happening right now.
Like, you are being impatient today.
Excellent. You officially understand all 3 words now.
Thank you so much, Jack. This honestly made English feel simple for the first time.
You are very welcome. And honestly, you are being very confident right now.
Haha, yes, I think I finally am.
Now, everyone listening to Talk Ema, we have a little homework challenge for you.
Yes, write 3 sentences in the comments section.
1 sentence with be,
1 sentence with been.
and 1 sentence with being.
Use real-life examples from your own daily life, because that is the best way to remember naturally.
And if this lesson helped you understand English more clearly, do not forget to subscribe to Talk Ema and support the channel.
Keep practicing, keep visualizing, and keep speaking English every single day.
Because you do not have an English problem.
You just needed the right pictures in your mind.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We will see you in the next lesson. Stay confident.